Okay, so now we've got a task 2 essay. We're looking for causes of the problem and solutions. Okay, so this is quite a nice type of essay. I like answering these ones, or I like thinking about these ones. So let's see what the topic is. In some countries, the average weight of people is increasing and their levels of health and fitness are decreasing. What are the causes of these problems and what measures can be taken to solve them? Okay, so it's about health and obesity. So we've got paragraph 1, your introduction. We've got your paragraph 2, which is going to be what's causing this. Paragraph 3, you're going to give some solutions, and in paragraph 4, you should have your conclusion. Okay, so you very rarely in IELTS ever have to do more than 4 paragraphs for a task 2. You always have the 4 paragraph standard. The best answers are going to link your causes and solutions together. So if you've identified something as a cause of the obesity, the best ones are going to give a solution that's directly linked to that cause. Okay, so that's something to think about a little bit when you start doing your planning. So let's take a look at what this candidate has done. Introduction. In recent years, obesity and substandard health levels in some countries have been in the spotlight. Sorry, that's my mistake. Have been in the spotlight of public attention, as well as government. We don't need to say of public attention if you're in the spotlight. That's kind of self-explanatory. Have been in the spotlight as well as the government. In recent years, obesity and substandard health levels in some countries have been in the spotlight as well as the government as well as the government reaction or response or solution. For example, statistics in the 19th edition of Nelson Pediatric Textbook show that 20% of Americans are obese and 45% are overweight. I really like adding this context detail into your introduction. I think that's really good. So, smiley face there, good job. It makes the introduction stand out. It makes it more interesting. It makes it more specific. Nice. In this essay, the reasons behind this phenomenon will be explained, followed by measures that can tackle this issue. Okay, good, solid introduction. This first sentence is a little bit dodgy in terms of grammar, but from then on, I thought it was much better. Let's look at the main intro. Okay, this is like a chunky first paragraph. So what I'm going to do is if I see a really long paragraph like this, I tend to go and check the next one to see if there's like the issue of a candidate writing a lot for the first paragraph and then really reducing the second one down because they don't have time. It's a little bit longer. This one's a little bit shorter, but overall it's not so bad. And then we've got our conclusion. Okay, so let's take a look at what this candidate has written. First of all, good way to start, classic, nothing wrong with that. One of the main causes is consumption of excessive sugar and fat. Okay, consumption, good vocabulary. Excessive sugar and fat, good vocabulary. People in the modern world are accustomed to refined, processed food that contains high levels of sugar and fat. We are given numerous choices of food additives and sauce that can make food taste better. These condiments are usually high in sugar and fat too, which adds a lot of unnecessary calories to the diet. Okay, so far this is all excellent grammar, excellent vocabulary. Very, very good. Also, people like to drink soda with their meal instead of water thanks to the diligent advertisement endorsements from soda companies that results in excessive sugar intake. Okay, nice. I mean, diligent is kind of like a slightly odd word choice here. It doesn't quite fit, but I would say something like thanks to, the inescapable or hugely successful advertisement endorsements from soda companies that result in excessive sugar intake. In addition, many people nowadays own a car, which drastically reduces their need to walk and move their bodies. Drastically reduces, nice vocabulary. Need to walk and move their bodies. Nice paraphrasing there. Consequently, this change in diet and transportation appears to result in the general population's increase in obesity and decrease in fitness levels in some countries. Okay, nice. I would have liked to see instead of some countries, I think maybe I would talk about developed countries, would be more specific. But overall, task achievement, excellent discussion, good detail. They discuss everything. They expand all their points. They say people drink soda because of the advertisement. This means there's more sugar than you need, which is more calories. So they really expand and explain on their points of view. So for task achievement, this is really excellent. The grammar and cohesion is good, and I'm really loving the vocabulary. We've got some excellent vocabulary in here. Next, as for measures to deal with the problem, there are some possible approaches. Okay, nice introduction. First of all, government and schools can launch programs educating the public to eat healthy and exercise. Maybe I would say more or eat more healthily and exercise more. Michelle Obama, the ex-First Lady of the United States, started a national campaign, let's move, to encourage Americans, especially young children, to eat more vegetables and exercise more. This is a very nice, specific example to support your point, which I like. Second of all, governments. The only thing that's missing here is that this is my so what question. So what this candidate is missing is like their therefore sentence, therefore, or as a result, fitness levels among primary school age children increased or something like that. You want to give me the consequence. What was the result? So she told them to eat more vegetables and exercise. So what happened? People become more obese, the obesity levels drop. Second of all, the government should impose high taxes on soda companies and food manufacturers involved in unhealthy food production. Okay, the only weakness we have of this paragraph is that it's slightly less detailed in terms of explanation than the first paragraph. Again, here I would want to say, and then what do they think? If this can be achieved, then it's possible that obesity levels in developed countries will start to decline. Okay, something like that. So you want to sort of link it all back to the original question or the original topic. So this paragraph is actually slightly weaker in terms of task achievement. Moving on to the conclusion. To recapitulate. This is the incorrect word. Recapitulate means to give up again. So I think they mean to restate or something like that. Some of the causes of obesity and declining health in some countries were identified above, and possible solutions were put forward accordingly. In this regard, the government as well as the general public will have to give careful consideration to this matter in order to tackle the given situation. Okay, my only issue with this is that I really hate it when candidates do this and they just say, I've discussed the reasons and causes above. The point of this the conclusion is that you've got to summarize, paraphrase your points, or give me the theme of each paragraph. So to restate, some of the causes of obesity and declining health in some countries were identified as part of the work of excessive advertising by corporations of unhealthy food, and an increase in modern technology reducing fitness levels. In this regard, the government, the possible solutions discussed involved government intervention, which I believe will be the most successful type of solution. Okay, so you need to paraphrase your argument again. Don't just repeat it exactly the same as what you said in your essay. It's a paraphrasing challenge. You need to tell me again in different words, okay? So overall for this essay, in terms of task achievement, it started off a lot better. I think it got a little bit weaker towards the end, but I definitely want to give a 6.5 for task achievement. Coherence and cohesion, I thought it was very coherent and pretty cohesive throughout, so I'd want to give a 7 for that. In terms of vocabulary, again, really excellent vocabulary. I thought there was a lot of very good specific vocabulary going through. So I'd want to give a 7 for that. I would just want to say that I want to see some less common word choices. But what was great was they really used vocabulary that was very specific to the topic they were talking about. Especially here, when we're talking about additives, levels of sugar and fat, refined processed food, advertising endorsements, excessive sugar intake, so it's there's a lot of unnecessary calories. So again, it's very specific to the idea of diet, health, and sugar. So there's the vocabulary they used allowed them to be very specific and focused on the topic they were discussing. Their grammar, I thought their grammar was very good. There was kind of few areas where I was really having to do a lot of correction. They used a lot of different types of sentences as well, which I thought was nice. They had some complex sentences in there, a nice mix of different types of sentence. So I'd want to give a 6.5 for grammar. I mean, someone could argue me up to a 7 for that. Because I'm thinking overall I want to give this essay a 7. It feels like a 7 essay to me. And so You know, am I being a bit strict on the task achievement? Maybe the task achievement should also be a 7. Maybe 6.5 is a little bit harsh. So overall, I would want to give this essay a 7. And just suggest that they kind of did get weaker towards the end. And I would want to see this sort of expanded and explained in the same great detail that they did in their body 1 paragraph. But overall, I thought this was a very strong essay. And this candidate should be pleased with the effort that they put in.